Hello everyone, Lady DeWinter here, and today we are going to make a giftable, excuse me, a giftable pot holder for gift giving. Now you can make this pot holder along with the dishcloth I showed you in a previous video to make a nice little gift set. You can do a towel topper, which we may do one of those in one of the future videos. I haven't worked out how I would do that using my cell phone yet. But you could make this as part of a gift set and it would look awesome. Now today, and because you want to use cotton yarn with this, acrylic will basically melt if it gets too hot. So this is cotton yarn. It is sugar and cream, original stripes. It's a 4-ply yarn, and it recommends an H needle. Now, just because it says you should use an H needle doesn't mean you have to. It just means that's the needle that'll work better, I guess. I don't know. I've used smaller needles and had no problem whatsoever. So this particular yarn is lime stripes, and I love this color. I think it's just absolutely adorable. So let's get on with making our pot holder. We have our yarn needle and our needle threader, and scissors, and we are all set up to go. Now, the first thing we're going to do is, of course, make a slip knot like I've showed you before. Make a circle around your finger, like so, and then tuck the yarn up through, and you have a slip knot now. A nice little slip knot there. So, now you need to start this out with 38, depending on the size of the hot pad you want. I like to start out with about 31 stitches. 30 stitches, and then it comes out to be 29. We're going to go 31. 1, 2. And these are chain stitches. These are simple, easy chain stitches. All you do is have a loop on your needle and pull through some yarn. Chain 2. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I have a little trick I use, guys, when I lose my stitches. I have little stitch markers, if I can get them off my thing here. If I can get them loose, there we go. I use a stitch marker in my 10th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in this stitch right here, if I could get my needle thing open there, in this little stitch here, I'm going to place a stitch marker. Now there's a reason for that, because sometimes you will lose count, and this way you don't have to go all the way back and count where you left off from. So that's 10 stitches. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, now I'll lay my project down again. I'm going to get another stitch marker. That's what they're called, stitch markers. Someday I'll learn all the terminology properly. And these are plastic. They're kind of a pain in the butt, but, you know, they work okay. So that is 20 stitches now. We need 10 more. 1. And what we're doing is we're making chain stitches, okay? And I splintered there. So you just wrap your needle. You can wrap either way. It doesn't matter. Pull through, wrap your needle, pull through, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wrap your needle, pull through. 9. Wrap your needle, pull through for 10. Okay, now, here's where the fun part comes in. We are going to basically change our stitch, okay? Now, we have 30 here. I'm going to do one more, okay? And then I'm going to wrap my needle no, I'm not. No, you don't wrap your needle for a single crochet. I've been doing a lot of double crochets lately, and I keep getting mixed up. For a single crochet, all you do is insert your needle through the loop, pull up a loop. Now you have 2 on your hook, and pull that through. That is a single crochet. Again, I'll show it to you again. Poke your needle through the top of the stitch, and you want the top thing right there. and pull through a loop and then pull it all the way through. And that is a single crochet. Now, here's the beauty of this particular little potholder, and I'm out of frame again. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to stay in frame and do the stitch. I told you in a previous video, I'm not good at tutorials. Even though you guys are asking me for them, I'm not good at them. So we poke through this little stitch here. We pull up a loop and we pull it through. Poke through the stitch. That is your single crochet. Now we're going to do this all the way down to the end of that row to make our foundation chain. Now you can also find this exact same pattern and probably a much better tutorial on sharing sheeply, or sheeply sharing, I believe it is. Margaret Orlander. She's very good. And she got this from Bev's Cottage, I believe it was. So we're going to poke through again. Pull up a loop and pull it through. Poke through. And this is also very difficult, folks, because I am standing and it really, really hurts my back to stand. But that is the only way that with the limited equipment that I have that I can do these videos. That's why I don't do that many of them. Poke through, pull up, pull through two. Poke through, pull up, poke through two. Okay, poke through, pull up, and poke. You've got the two loops, pull through. That is a single crochet. Now I'm going to take my stitch markers out because I don't need them anymore. At least that one for now. Then I'm going to pull everything taut again, and I'm going to ignore that, and I'm going to poke through the top of that. I'll poke through the top of that one. I think, if I can find it. It's a little bit difficult. There we go. Because like I said, I'm standing up. And I'm trying to see this through the camera instead of my hands themselves. So, and we're going to pull through. And we're going to do that all the way to the end of the foundation row. And we will be back when we reach the end. All right. We are all the way through to our foundation row. There we go. That's our foundation row. It is a combination of a chain stitch and a single crochet stitch. But now here's where it gets a little trickier because you're at the very end, right? You have your one stitch in there, but you want to put another stitch in that hole, okay? And then you want to go around to this side and put a stitch in here. Oh, whoops, okay. Well, you want to try to do it without losing your thread. Okay, there we go. Now, and now we will go back this direction all the way down. And as you remember, we're doing a single crochet. We're going to poke through this stitch right here. This one right there. See it? This one right there. See it? Okay, we're going through there. We're going to pull it up. And we're going to drop our tail. And we're going to put, well, we're going to do it correctly, though, and get our tail out of the way. That is another problem, but I am going to crochet the tail in. So, and there we go. And through this little stitch right there. Now, as I've told you guys in previous videos, I have serious arthritis in my hands. So, crocheting an entire project on camera is not going to be something I'm going to be able to do. You guys seem to love my crochet videos, though. So I'm assuming you're willing to put up with the stop starts, half videos, and that kind of thing. So, but we're going to go all the way down this row in that one little stitch right there. And as you see, and as I'm doing this, I'm also, nope, that's the wrong stitch. And see, when you frog, you got to be careful not to pull out too many stitches. Now, okay, let's get that back. Okay, we're not wrapping. My tail is giving me issues. So there we go. Now, but I'm sure you guys all stumble through this too as you're crocheting. If you're a more experienced crocheter, you may have a way of dealing with your tails. If you're a new, inexperienced crocheter, just know that even some of us more seriously experienced crocheters has equal problems with that. So that went through the wrong stitch again. So, yeah, see, you don't want to go through that. You want to go through this very top little stitch right here. And it keeps going through the wrong stitch. There we go. Now let's lay our tail down and pull it up through there. And yeah, through there. Now, because it's very important we go through only this stitch right there. Only that one. So, and I had to pull out some more yarn. So, and I'm going to pull this to make my tail kind of wind in a little better. But I think I'm going to get one more stitch out of this that's going to cover that tail up. And there we go. Yes, now my tail is completely concealed in my work there. So now we're going to go into each one of these little stitches like this, which is a lot easier when you're not trying to tuck a tail in. So, and we're still doing the single crochet, which is, I'll show you again. You poke through your stitch, you pull up a loop, you've got 2 loops on your hook, you pull through both of those. It's actually a lot of pulling through loops to do crochet. So, and let's see. We're almost to the end. And all I want to do, guys, is show you how to do the corners. Because once you get these first 2 corners in, that's it. All you do after that is just go around and around and around and around. There's no extra stitches to add. You just keep with the 1 stitch. And sometimes you'll find this situation where you have to separate your yarn a little bit and coax it, which is okay. If you're a tight stitcher, then that's going to be even more of a problem for you. But my hands are already sore from the rain we've been having, and it goes from being hot, super hot summer type weather to cold, miserable, cold, wet weather. And my arthritis is just giving me all kinds of issues with this. Now we're almost to the end. We're going to keep going until we get to the actual end, which is 1 stitch before that corner. And I will show you what I mean. One stitch from that corner. Now, here we are at the corner. We're going to put 1 stitch in here because we got this, and sometimes it's a little hard, like I said. Sometimes it doesn't want to go through. Okay, now we're going to put 1 stitch in there. Now we're going to put a stitch in here, that last little corner there, and a stitch through both of these, okay? Both of these. You go through both those. And there you go. That's your corner. And now all we do is go easy peasy all the way around. And of course, we're doing the single crochet again. Remember, we're doing the single crochet. You can use a double crochet stitch on this if you like, but if you use anything looser, I recommend putting some like hot pad material inside before you close it up, because the little holes can let the heat through. With the single crochet, it makes a nice dense little pot holder. So, and it came through. A lot of people use wooden needles for this purpose because the yarn slippage and the slipping out of the needle and all that. I don't, because I need the ease of the metal needles for my arthritis. And I've tried those little ergonomic handled needles, and the problem is the paint wears off to tell you what size needle you're working with. And that doesn't help me because, you know, it just doesn't help me one bit at all. So let's go down a little bit so you don't get such a good view of my laid spots. because nobody wants to show off their age spots. And let me get a drink of water real quick, guys. Because sometimes my throat dries out. I'm on COPD medications that is an inhalant mist that you put down your throat. And sometimes it's a little bit of a pain in the butt because that dries your throat out so horribly bad. Now, we're just single crocheting all the way around this little potholder. And now this is going to be a double-sided potholder. It's going to be thick. So, and now you've come to your corner again. We have our corner. All you do with this is go around it. No extra stitches, no extra anything. You just keep going around and around through both stitches there, both of them. And like that, and you keep going around. If your needle doesn't fail you. And what will happen is these little corners, as you see, it's already starting to pucker up a little bit. That will make your edges your corners on your potholders right here. These corners here is what is happening right here, as you can see it. And then eventually you'll just keep crocheting around and around and around until you get this square, and then all you do is stitch it closed. But I'm going to take you through that. We'll show you how to do that. But this is your finished potholder, what it will look like. So, and all you do is you just keep going back around. Now you can make them oblong, you can make them much, much bigger. I've made them big enough to set pots on already, and baking dishes and things. So it just depends on how big you want it, how square, or if you want a rectangle, or if you want, you know, a perfect square. That depends on you. So, but there we go. We're just going to keep going around. And I'm going to take you to this one last corner here. And then I will show you how they are going to start puckering up. Now see, we've got a little bit of a problem there with our tail coming through. And that's easy to remedy. I would use smaller scissors, of course. But there. You cut that off, you pull it out again, and it works just fine. Let me get my stitch holders out of the way. And so we're going to go all the way over to this next corner. And then when I finish the potholder, when I get it to a point, I will show you how to make the little loop and all of that. Now, again, this particular potholder, if you want a paper pattern, you can find it at Bev's Cottage online. In video, you can find it through Margaret Orlander at Sheepishly Sharing. And there's a couple other places online that make this same potholder. And after you make it a few times, you learn a few tricks and tips for how you want to do it. Not everybody does everything exactly the same. And that's something that you need to understand and realize. Not everyone does everything exactly the same. So you have to find what works comfortably for you. Just because they say in the instructions, oh, you have to do it this way. No, you do not. You do it the way that's most comfortable for you. Now, I am going to go around this last little corner here and show you how the little corners start puckering up the more you go around them. Okay, now let me get over here to this side here, and I will show you what I mean. Now, as you see, this little corner here is puckering up. I'll take the needle out. The little corners are puckering up, and that is what makes these little corners right here. Okay, so here's the beginning of the potholder. We will come back when it's finished, and I will show you how to stitch that up or close it up and make the little stitch it up there like that and make this little loop to hang on your wall. or wherever you hang them. So we'll be back with the next stage of this tutorial. Bye-bye for now.